studio. Can you talk about the experience last night? You know, with Matt talking to you guys before the game and saw this kid dropping the puck and how well he played.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think for a lot of guys, but for myself, I mean, growing up in Toronto, watching Matt's play a long time. Obviously, he had an unbelievable career, but for me, it was pretty special. And then, the puck drop and all that. The game, the atmosphere, and then at the end of the game, the stars was pretty cool too.
What did it mean to you to see Matt's in the room with the opening lineup?
Yeah, we didn't know till he came in, right? So it was pretty cool. For me, it meant a lot. I had a great experience playing against Matt in Toronto. One of my first games, he scored a hat trick for his 500th. So that was pretty cool. But getting to see him announce our lineup there in person, we didn't really know it was coming till right before the game. So it was cool. It was a cool thing.
That night.
Actually, I had a good night that night too. But he showed me up pretty good. I think for me, that was my first game where I scored a couple in that game. It was my first career NHL goal and his 500th. So it was a pretty cool night, especially being from Toronto, in Toronto.
That was overtime 6-5, right?
Yeah, he scored shorthanded in overtime for his 500th. Pretty cool.
Mark, just curious what your reaction was to the gift that was presented to Willie in the locker room after the game.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, Willie's obviously this year has been going great for him, but just to see him here at home and the reception he's getting, it's been pretty cool. And to see him get that star and have that third period he had for us, I think goes a long way for the guys. I think we appreciate what he does for us, but it's nice to see him get that moment for sure.
A little extra motivation for the guys tomorrow night, maybe?
I think so. Yeah, you'll see some guy. No, I don't know. I think no, it's a nice. Anytime you come in and play in any of these events, they always treat you so well. So I think that's just another example of it.
What's been your, outside of the game and the 2 points, what's been your favorite experience in Stockholm so far?
I would say just getting to know a different city, different culture, walking around. I'd say we had a pretty good team dinner the other night. Got all the guys out together and hung out, and that's these trips, you don't get them too often in normal years, to be honest, where you go and you stay in one city in one hotel for the whole trip. So I think it's good for teams to get out here and do this. As much as you're like, oh man, we got to travel all this way, but like once you get here, it's a pretty cool experience and pretty rare that you get this opportunity.
Do you feel adjusted to it yet with the time change, or like everyone's kind of feeling a little different?
Yeah, I think your sleep's always going to be a little bit off for the first couple of weeks that you're away in different time zones when it's this much of a time zone change. But I don't know. I physically in the game felt fine, felt good. As long as you're getting the amount of hours in a 24-hour span, your body's pretty good. But there's definitely moments where like you're up when you shouldn't be or falling asleep in the afternoon. But it's not that big of a deal, to be honest.
Tomorrow the game is at 2 o'clock. 10 o'clock pasta?
I'll probably go omelet, maybe some mushrooms and cheese, but I'm not a big pasta and chicken guy in the morning, so.
What with the jet lag, is that a problem, you think?
No, I mean, we've played a lot of afternoon games back home, too. I think it's just mentally, if you can get around that stuff pretty quick, just get a good warm-up in, and then once the first few shifts go by, you don't even think about it.
Could you tell us your view on Börje Salming's legacy, growing up and then playing for Toronto?
Well, I go based off of like my dad, really. My dad really tells me stories about, because I didn't really watch him too much growing up. It was a little bit before me, but from what my dad says is a legend, obviously, on the ice, and then just getting to know the history, playing for the Leafs, and what he meant to the organization. I think, just an unbelievable legacy and career. So, but yeah, I don't have too many memories of watching him play, but seeing the highlights and seeing what he meant to people around him and to the organization, I mean, it's unbelievable.
And it does show in the city right now as well with the fans.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think that's the one thing. Coming out here, you see the support that all the Swedish guys get. It's pretty incredible, and I will say, like, getting to know the Swedes and how much respect you see they have for him. You see how much he means to Swedish hockey as well.
And also one more.
Last one, you guys.
What's your view on neck guards in the league?
Yeah, I think I should try him. I'm willing to try him. I think it's pretty scary when you see what happened there in that game. So sad moment in hockey, and I can't speak for anyone else, but for me personally, I would be open to trying one, and hopefully it feels comfortable when I use it.
Besides getting the win, what's been your highlight of the trip so far?
It's been a great trip. Honestly, we've really enjoyed our time here. I don't know if there's one highlight. I think just the team bonding aspect of it, the flight, experiencing new culture, going for dinner, doing stuff that we don't ordinarily get to do as a group has been really fun.
Morgan, curious what
meeting Marcus Nassen was cool. Because growing up in Vancouver, he was the captain, so that was fun.
When did you meet him?
An NHLPA kind of welcome reception. I can't keep my days straight, but just a few days ago.
What was that like?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I grew up a Canucks fan, so I was a big fan of his, and so to meet him was fun.
What about getting the lineup read by Canucks great Matt Sundin?
Yeah. Also a Canucks legend. Was awesome. I mean, what he means to our team and to Toronto is pretty special, and to be in Sweden and to have him around has been very cool.
Morgan, just curious what your reaction was to the gift that was presented to Willie in the room last night.
Which was?
The watch from the...
Oh, sorry, we didn't really see it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's great. The player of the game, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly deserved it. I thought he was outstanding, but I mean, he didn't really make a big deal of it. He just kind of comes and does his business, plays outstanding for us, gets 3 points, and he's extremely deserving of that, and obviously was a big part of the outcome of that game.
Do you see his stardom in a different light now that you see him in his home country?
I think so. I mean, he's big in Toronto too, though. But I think he's really enjoyed his time here, and I think he's really taken it upon himself to kind of help the guys around town and kind of help people experience Sweden and Stockholm. So he's done a great job with that, and I think he's enjoying himself. So a win tomorrow afternoon will make this trip great.
One of the things that kind of got lost in the shuffle, but the Bertuzzi Bowl yesterday, and Tyler playing against his former team. What do you think of his game? It seemed to be one of the better games that he's had.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I mean, that whole line played really well, and again, obviously a big part of the outcome of the game. So, we're obviously very happy for him. He's a big part of what we're doing. So when he plays well like that and his line's going, they're pretty hard to stop.
What's your sense of how Klingberg's dealing with his injury here? I mean, we see him leave early. He seemed pretty disappointed.
He's been grinding. He's been working hard. He's had a good attitude, and he's doing everything he can to be on the ice and help our team. And so as his teammate, you just want to support him, and because we've all been there, and it's just a matter of grinding. And for us, we got to help him out.
Not sure if you saw, there's a little kid over here saying he was named after you.
Yeah.
You might get that in Toronto, but seeing that out here in Sweden?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly. I don't know what the extent of it is. I'm going to make my way over there afterwards and try to figure that out.
How was that to take the opening face-off there, or be on the starting lineup last night with all the Swedes and your attachment to them?
Yeah, super special, obviously. And it was pretty cool for Willie. I mean, you hear how loud the rink got, but also for Yarny and Lags too. I mean, it was special. And then me and Mo were just kind of out there, but to hear Matt's announce my name was pretty special for sure.
What did you think when you saw him walk in when he was announced? Like, you didn't know what was happening, did you? Maybe you did. Maybe you were.
I don't know. No, I definitely wasn't part of it. That's for sure. But no, I did see him before the game. So he said, "Who knows? He might be starting. We'll see." But just messing around with me. Yeah.
Growing up in Toronto with your father playing, what can you say about Börje Salming's legacy in the city?
I mean, to be honest with you, I never got to watch live hockey of Mr. Salming play, obviously. I was too young, but I know firsthand just through Mats what he meant to not only Swedish hockey, but hockey in Toronto. And I mean, we talked about it yesterday, how he paved a pretty smooth path for Swedes to follow, especially someone like Mats or Willie or all the other Swedes we have to wear the blue and white and also represent Sweden. So absolute legend in our game, and we're very lucky to wear the same jersey he did.
What's it been like to be around Mats again? Like, I know you talk to him a lot, you text him a lot, but just to see him kind of every day.
Yeah, I mean, he comes down to Toronto every so often, so it's not like the first time I've seen him in 10 years or anything like that, but I've seen him quite a bit, so it's always nice to catch up and pick up right where we left off.
Also, growing up, did you meet William Nylander?
Did I meet Willie?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he told me that we played against each other, but I don't remember. So, yeah, no.
What can you say about Willie's game yesterday?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that whole line obviously, helped us a lot there in the third period and scored some big goals for us.
What can you say about his start to the season? Is it something special or the same as always?
I mean, no, it's definitely special. I mean, he's been playing so well, and when you're hot, and the puck's finding him, it's going in, and it's been great to watch.
Austin, how cool was yesterday, like from Matt Sundin saying the lineup and then Borje Salming's son dropping the puck and the way Willie played just the whole day?
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it kind of felt like the stars aligned and everything, but, just to have this experience, obviously, it's really special to be over here, and the roots, run pretty deep as far as Swedish players, paving the way for guys that we have now on the team, from back then, and so it's been really cool just to kind of see that all come together.
Also, what do you think of the gift Willie got after the game from the PA and a little extra motivation for tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty nice.
How's his watch collection?
He's got a good watch collection, yeah.
How's compared to yours?
I don't know. I think we got a couple guys on the team that like watches and like to, collect, but it's always nice to get a freebie.
I know Willie's been playing tour guide for you guys a little bit. What's the best meal he's taking you to?
He took us to a nice Italian restaurant the other night. I forget what it was called, but I don't know. It's all been like Italian, like steak, nothing like, I'm waiting for some Swedish cuisine. So, but I mean, they've had plenty of it at the hotel and stuff, so it's been good.
Do you have any kind of relationship at all with Matt Sundin, like through the years?
Not really, honestly. Like, I've met him a little bit, spoken with him a little bit, but nothing of like a lot of substance, I guess.
What do you think it meant to you, or maybe some of the Ontario guys, when Matt's read out the lineup?
I mean, I think everybody in the locker room, I think everybody knows where he stands, and as far as being a Maple Leaf and what he represents, and all the amazing things he did there. So, it's definitely a cool moment for everybody.
And what's your view on Borje Salming's legacy in Toronto?
Well, I think it's pretty incredible, obviously, and I'm looking forward to watching the movie and kind of getting a better sense of what he went through in his journey. But obviously, he's very appreciated in Toronto, and another guy that did a lot of amazing things for the organization.
And what's your view on neck guards in the league?
What's my view on neck guards?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think what happened was tragic. It's kind of, I think, personal preference, but obviously you want to protect yourself at all causes, and lots of guys obviously wearing wrist guards and extra protection now just from those kinds of incidents that have happened over the last couple of years, but I think it's important to take precaution.
So, kind of a weird one for you. Does this kind of feel like a training camp in some ways? You've had so much practice time and so little playing time.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but it's certainly different and unique. We have had a lot of practice time, except that you're sort of managing the practice time with what we've been dealing with the time change and jet lag and all that kind of stuff, and it's beaten some up pretty good, some more than others. But yeah, it's been different, and quite honestly, I wasn't surprised that we started slow yesterday. It's just because of all the different things. part of our plan going in was to sort of survive the first period and look to get better from there. Obviously, didn't love how the second period worked out for us, but felt that we would get better as the game went on, and perhaps our opponent maybe would get a little worse as the game went on. So that's kind of how it worked out in the end for us. But my expectation is that we'll be better, tomorrow from the start.
What's your level of concern with Klingberg's health here? Like, are you worried this could linger for a while?
Yeah, it's certainly getting that to that place. Played the game last weekend and thought did pretty well in the game. But certainly had been uncomfortable, and like I said, with the time off, they tried to use it with a little more aggressive treatment for him to try to help him going forward, and they still think that some of that treatment will help and pay off for him. It's just taking him longer to bounce back from it, and he just hasn't been comfortable, so he won't be available tomorrow.
Other than the win last night, what did you enjoy most about the whole experience?
I think, first for me, I've never been to Europe. I shouldn't say that. I was here 30 years ago, and not in Sweden, but in Finland and Russia for a minor hockey tournament. But so that in itself has been unique for me. I think just what I take away from it is I've coached a lot of Swedes. We got 5 on our roster here right now, and to get a bit of a feel for their culture and their lifestyle, I appreciate that. That's what I take away from it. Just all the experience, just getting a little more cultured for a guy that hasn't left the continent has been good for me. At the same time change, the jet lag, the schedule, those kind of things. I could do without a lot of that in an NHL schedule, but we're fortunate we got the 2 points last night and hopefully finish the trip off the same way.
What's Connor Timmins' status?
He's at day-to-day spot right now. Haven't got a report on how the practice went today in terms of how he's feeling. I would say he's unlikely to play at this point tomorrow, just with another week off basically coming up here. They want to be absolutely certain, and I don't know that he's at that point quite yet. But we'll have another conversation this afternoon and make a determination for tomorrow. But like I said, the additional time off as we go home lingers, and you got to keep that in mind for him.
Bit of a nitpicky thing, but the too many men on the ice penalties, how much are you talking to the players about that behind the scenes? Is this a concern that it's a trend?
Yeah, talking about it for sure. However, last night was not too many men on the ice. That's not a good call. So that's not one we're going to worry ourselves about. Some of the others, certainly there's things that we can do differently with handling the line changes. That's a legal line change. 2 guys bump into each other that have no impact on the play whatsoever and no advantage to us as we had full control of the puck in the offensive zone. So that's one I don't think that should have been called. So you can ask me the question again when we take a real too many men.
Are you checking in on the Wild game today just to know what to expect tomorrow?
No, we talked about that. We've already played them, and the video and such, we'll get a pretty good feel for it. We'll stay away here today. The fact, especially now that we have a good sense of the atmosphere and the building and all those kind of things, we'll enjoy one final night here in Stockholm, and then get our work in the morning and early afternoon tomorrow, and get on the bird home.
Do you think McCabe is settling in on the right side a little bit?
I thought he did a good job yesterday. Yeah, it's never ideal having 6 lefties and asking 3 guys to play their offside. McCabe coming off of an injury, especially, has had to do that for us. But I thought he did a good job. Picked his spots well. It's just the way you see the ice, the angles, and you can accept passes, and the angles that you make passes. All of those things change. I think sometimes we don't have a great enough understanding of how difficult that is for a lot of guys.
Are we seeing? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are we seeing Tyler Bertuzzi's best games as a Leaf here last year?
He's been building that way for a while now. It doesn't always show up on the scoreboard, but certainly last night, the way he impacted the game and changed the game, both with the big goal and being in a great spot, and then creating a turnover, making a big time play to win the game. he hasn't had that type of an impact necessarily, but he's been doing a lot of really good things for quite some time. Now he's getting rewarded for it, so that should help his confidence going forward.
What do you attribute that to? Like, is he just more comfortable? Is confidence? What is it?
I think that's all part of that for sure. I would say, confidence, getting comfortable with his line mates, getting comfortable in his colors, his teammates, the system, and then also just getting into the season. Some guys it takes longer, He's not a natural skater, takes a little bit longer for some guys to really find their game. And I think he's one of those guys. That's what I've observed is just taking a while to really get his feet going, get involved, and get used to playing at that level. He's a competitor. He needs to compete at a really high level to make up for some of the other areas that he lacks. And when he's doing that, his skill set comes out, and you see the type of results like the other night.